Welcome back, everyone, to more Star Ocean: The Second Story. My name is Raven, and in our previous episode, we made our way successfully through the Cave of Red Crystal, and we did happen to find what we thought was the last remaining Cinyard. But as it turns out, she is a mama and actually had two little cubs, which is a little bit odd because, according to Noelle, there were no other Cinyards, so I have no idea how she got inseminated. Perhaps Mari or some other figure like that can help us figure that mystery out. But nevertheless, we were able to save her from some of the monsters that ended up going rogue and were attacking her, and she decided to lend us her flying abilities. So now we have access to the open world and we can fly wherever the hell we want to. So in this episode, we're not actually going to advance the plot. I'm instead going to spend the majority of this showing you guys a couple little secrets and doing some side questy type things, and then in our next episode we will continue by going and speaking with Mayor Gnarl in Central City. So first things first, I'm going to actually cut the camera just to save us some time so you don't watch me flying around everywhere. I will bring us back when we are outside of a town called Armlock because I want to show you guys something. So give me a moment to bring us there. Okie dokie, guys, here we are outside of Armlock, and we'll come back here later to do like pickpocketing and all that other fun shit, but I definitely wanted to quickly highlight that as soon as you have access to your Cinyard, if you do have a little bit of extra money to blow and you're not that invested in item crafting like I kind of am, you can come here and drop a lot of cash on some major weapon upgrades. So as you can see just from looking at this, like holy shit, attack 900, sign me up. But look at that price, you guys. So everything here is pretty nice, but we'll absolutely be able to find some better stuff later on and or craft something pretty much equivalent, if not better. So it's not imperative that you go ahead and pick up some of these things, but you know, if you just want to go ahead and do it, now's the chance. You know, there's not really any reason for us to save our money, but I'm going to hold off. I'm not going to spend what I have quite yet, although I need to go ahead and take some time to sell a bit of the extra junk that we have, because you guys, seriously, I have so much garbage and just shit that I don't even need, like 3 fucking antiseptic gloves. I don't need these fucking bombs. Like, do I really need old weapons? No, I don't. So maybe I'm just a little bit of a hoarder. That's something that I'll deal with later, and I never really highlighted this. I guess now's as good of a time as any since I am complaining about how much shit I have. But we do have quite a few books that we've picked up. So if you haven't been going through and using the items that you've been finding, just to highlight this, this is a book that if you read it, it will teach you herbal medicine. There are many other types of books out there. I'll go ahead and show you guys too. And I'm pretty sure Bowman knows this since he is supposed to be the pharmacist, but whatever. Now Leon knows that ability, so there you go. And let's see, how about this? Before tea's ready. So this one teaches you copying. And it doesn't matter, eventually everyone's gonna know everything because the max level in this game is actually 255, and it's what we're going to need to reach in order to complete all of the extra stuff in this game. So that's why I never really concerned myself too much with the books. We'll end up legitimately learning everything, but yeah, just wanted to show that to you. So anyway, that wraps up what I wanted to spend our time doing here in Armlock. Next, I am going to bring us back when we are outside of what I call the secret shop, because a lot of people overlook this. It's, I mean, not that easy to find because, yeah, it's a secret. So I will bring you right back when we are outside of that area. Okay, guys, we are here, and yes, this doesn't look like it's anything, hence why almost nobody ever finds it, but I always like to just go ahead and highlight it anyway, in case you will find something valuable here. But yeah, this place is super random. I would love to find out who originally found this on their own without using, like, the Prima guide. But anyway, Talk says, young man, you did well to find me here. If you want to buy, you can buy. Similarly to what I just said in Armlock, I'm not going to be dropping any cash on anything, although obviously there are some very nice upgrades here for you to go ahead and buy. But everything's just so expensive. Like, we can't even afford the Wizard's Mail or the Mithril Mesh, so yeah, I never thought I was actually poor, but this game has done a fabulous job of making me feel that way. So yeah, that's all there really is to this place. I just wanted to show that to you guys. If you don't buy it, you'll regret it. Whatever, bro. I don't have the cash for your bullshit. Okay, so next in our list of shit that I want to accomplish, we're actually going to head back to that continent where Armlock was. We're going to hit up a place called Fun City. I'm going to save outside of it first, and then I'll explain what exactly we're hoping to accomplish there. So see you in just a sec. All right, everyone. So if you look at our little map here in the lower right-hand corner, you can see we are just a little bit north of Armlock. There it is in the distance. And this is Fun City. And what we are hoping to accomplish here is we want to pickpocket some very, very fabulous boots. They're actually not great in terms of like the defensive capacity that they provide, but they are incredible in that they impart just an unmatched amount of speed. They are called the bunny shoes. We will be able to get quite a few later on so that our full final party will all have them, but this is a good opportunity to go ahead and get an early set. So yeah, we're just gonna head on in here, not via private action. I just saved before I brought you guys back, so let's talk to this wench, the receptionist, and she says, "Welcome to Nadine Funhouse. Do you want to buy a ticket?" Yes, we do. The cost is 75 full per person, so multiply that by 8, and that is 600 full. And we're going to buy those tickets. That is nothing. Thank you very much. Please go in from the entrance to the left. Remember that your ticket will no longer be valid once you leave the park. Okay, and so we got to listen to all this. "Welcome to Nadine Funhouse. May I see your tickets?" "Thank you very much. Hope you enjoy your visit." So this place is kind of kooky and wild, and we absolutely will revisit it later, but I did just want to highlight that we can come here now and get some bunny shoes early. So you want to run all the way back here to where the bunny races can be held, and if you come over to this very interesting looking bunny mascot, we are going to want to try to pickpocket it. First, just to show you guys, make sure you have the magician's hand, not the bandit's gloves, because this still takes quite a long time, even with the magician's hand. So we're going to see what happens. Come on, Claude. Oh my god! Guys, I swear, every other time I've tried to do this in the past, it's always taken at least 5 reloads for this to work, but I don't know what it is. For some reason, in this fucking playthrough, I have been successful relatively easily with finding stuff. So anyway, those are the bunny shoes. I'm quite honestly a bit speechless, but I'm gonna throw off the silver greaves, and like, look at this, you guys. Like, why the fuck do I still have iron greaves, leather boots, fucking mud boots from forever ago, and why Claude has the option of wearing some strappy high-heeled sandals? I don't even want to know. But coming back to the bunny shoes, as you can see, they impart incredible speed during combat as per the description. And yeah, that's what the stats say. So they don't look like they'd be that amazing, but they are indeed quite fabulous. They will make you super fast. And even though I am pretty much exclusively going to be using Opera, I am still going to throw the bunny shoes on Claude. Like I said, my main party will all have them eventually, but I just like to come and grab them now. But oh my god. Guys, I cannot believe we got those on the first try. Like, what the fuck? Well, okay. I guess that saves me a bit of time. So next, we are actually going to start the events for what I like to call the Secret Information Side Quest. I don't know if it has an official name, and we won't be able to really finish it quite yet, but we're still going to go ahead and get it started just because otherwise it's very easy for me to forget about. So, what I'm going to do, again, is I'm going to pause the camera and I will bring you right back when we are outside of North City, because that is where we need to go to actually spawn the events to trigger the quest, or I guess keep it rolling. So be right back, everybody. Okay, here we are. So let's run inside, and we're going to go all the way back to the library. And this is kind of an iffy quest. I remember the last time I did this playthrough, some people had a hard time getting it to spawn. So honestly, as long as you follow everything exactly as I did in terms of getting Chisato's little ID card, this should work. I've never had issues getting it to spawn. So anyway, the operator says, this library has been completely modernized. Everything is on a database. Pretty high tech, huh? So, as you can see down here, there's something called secret information. But before we click on that, we actually need to do the very laborious task of going through all of this. I'll try to read fast because I don't want this to be that long of an episode. So anyway, we're starting off with information about God's 10 wise men. So, we're going to learn about the era of peace. Please wait a minute. So 3.7 billion Need years ago, the inhabitants of the planet Need had developed the heraldic science to a degree that made them one of the more advanced civilizations of the galaxy. With the power that they had gained, the Nedeans came to rule over most of the peoples of the galaxy. They taught the planets under their rule about the things that they had come to understand. They brought about advancement in something else, but I was clicking too fast. So, the mendacity of the 10 wise men. Please wait a minute. And yes, guys, we actually have to go through all of this. The mendacity of the 10 wise men. But one day, seduced by the greatness of their heraldic powers, a group called God's 10 wise men sought to rule the universe. Naturally, the Nedeans were against this plan, but the 10 wise men, in a very unwise way, began to flaunt their great strength. The Nedeans had no choice but to resist, and after a great contest of strength and many fierce battles, the Nedeans finally succeeded in capturing the 10 wise men. Alright, so we've got one last section called The Last Days. Please wait a minute. So after our ancestors captured the 10 wise men, they banished them to eternal exile according to Nedean law. They were banished to the eternity space, a place where time stood still, and which was used to hold criminals. Because Need had no death penalty, this was the harshest sentence possible. In this way, the 10 wise men were imprisoned in the eternity space and set adrift in space. They were to pay for their crime by wandering in space for eternity. So we can move on to information about energy need. So the renunciation of power. Wow, why doesn't he just let us look up the shit ourselves? The incident of the 10 wise men was a shock to our Nedean ancestors. It made them realize how great their power was. Indeed, it was not unrealistic to think that Need might come at some time to rule all the galaxies of the universe. Thus, the Nedeans decided to steal away their great powers. So the birth of energy need. It was the genius of Dr. Lantis that helped our ancestors destroy their home planet and move to a smaller one. They then enveloped that planet with a Class 9 impermeable force field to eliminate all outside contact. That small planet that our ancestors moved to became known as Energy Need. So Energy Need now. Because of our past on Energy Need, we now prohibit all but the most necessary heraldic research, and no weapons are allowed either. On Energy Need, only Giveaway University is allowed to perform heraldic experiments, and the manufacture of weapons is limited to a small number of people in the town of Armlock. So we've actually seen Armlock, and we are going to go to Giveaway shortly, but let's continue to information about heraldry. So the origin of the heraldic arts. The origin of the heraldic arts is said to be in the patterns revealed in prayer and tattooed on the maidens of the holy shrines of Tria, god of creation. Different patterns tattooed on the maidens were noticed to have different powers. The unknown powers behind these differences were called the heraldic arts. Oh shit! Oh my god, I'm sorry you guys, I did not mean to click that fast. Oh my goodness. As you can see, I really don't want this to be too long, but this whole section is kind of laborious, honestly. Okay, so the power of heraldry is what we were supposed to click on. Okay, by tattooing heraldic crests on specific patterns on the body, practitioners of heraldry can convert their own mental powers into heraldic powers, which are much more intense than their normal powers. Once this fact was discovered, many different patterns were developed, and the heraldic arts became very highly developed. So an explanation of the heraldic arts. As the principles of heraldry became clear, it became possible to develop great powers even without the use of heraldic patterns. This is why there's almost no person on Energy Need who has heraldic tattoos. In fact, heraldry is only used on Energy Need for transporters, generators, and other large facilities or equipment. So, about heraldry stones. What is a quadratic sphere? Quadratic spheres are the crystallization of heraldic power itself. The degree of power contained in a quadratic sphere is directly proportional to its size. That means that the larger a quadratic sphere is, the greater its heraldic energy. So, quadratic key. Quadratic keys are special minerals that activate the effects of a quadratic sphere. Quadratic keys themselves possess a slight degree of heraldic power, and by combining them with a quadratic sphere, it becomes possible to release a gigantic burst of energy unknown to the elemental time/space continuum. If one were to, or of a mind to, it would be possible to use such energy to alter a planet's axis. And I think about resonation effects. Quadratic spheres and quadratic keys are brought into proximity with each other. In some rare cases, the quadratic key itself will emit an extremely strong light. This happens because the quadratic key absorbs and amplifies the minuscule amount of waves emitted by the quadratic sphere. In other words, the key's light emission is due to the proximity of the sphere. Alright, so information about the Crest of Annihilation. So what is the Crest of Annihilation? By invoking the Crest of Annihilation, an enormous amount of mass is produced at a single point in space. Linking this crest to a quadratic sphere amplifies its strength, making it possible to create an infinite amount of mass at that point in space. Such a singularity with an infinite amount of mass would halt the expansion of the universe, thus causing a big crunch. Because of this, this crest is now prohibited and has been permanently stricken from all heraldic literature. So, next, the big crunch. The universe that we live in has been expanding ever since its start in the Big Bang. However, when the speed of this expansion cannot overcome the gravity caused by the total mass of the universe will begin to shrink. From this state, all matter will eventually return to occupy no space at all, and the universe will die. This death of the universe is called the Big Crunch. So one last one in this section, controlling the Crest of Annihilation. There is no way to halt the Crest of Annihilation once it has been invoked. The only thing that can be done is to add additional meaning to the crest to rewrite it and aim it away at something else. In reality, one can only pray that this evil heraldic art will never be used. We're almost done, guys. Information about Heraldry Weapons Research Institute. So what is the Heraldry Weapons Research Institute? It's almost a tongue twister. This facility is located on an uninhabited planet in Beta Sector. A time/space transfer shield surrounds it, and all contact from the outside with the Institute is forbidden. The only entrance to it is a transporter located in the town of Armlock. Okay, so next, an overview of the Institute. Please wait a minute. At the Heraldic Weapons Research Institute, there are three main fields of research: stabilization of antimatter in 3D space using LEA metal, time/space transfer using time/space transfer shields, creation, energy. Oh my god, I did not read the rest of it. I thought there was going to scroll down through more, but that's okay, because we don't really need to read all that anyway. Was that? Here it is. The closing of the Heraldry Weapons Research Institute. Looks like this place didn't last. 700 million years ago, a creation energy generation device malfunction caused the destruction of the Institute. The Institute has been closed ever since, and the transporter leading to it, located in Armlock, has been sealed ever since. Okay, almost done. Information from Heraldry Weapons Research Institute reports. So stabilization of antimatter through LEA metal. Oh, that's the last one. Creation energy generation device that I skipped over because I was scrolling too quickly. So please wait a minute. The Barkers are known as one of the few silicon-based life forms in the universe. They carry within their bodies a substance called LEA metal, which refined and recrystallized in their metabolism. When a special type of vibration is applied to LEA metal, antiprotons are absorbed and emitted. Barker metabolism uses the very special properties of LEA metal to create a life from antimatter reactions. The discovery of LEA metal made it possible to control antiprotons completely in 3D space. Alright, the time/space shield and blah blah blah. The woman scientist, Dr. Rima, was the first to apply this technology 700 million years ago. The time/space shield creates a gigantic gravitational field that opens a hole in the time/space continuum and transfers any type of energy to a different time/space continuum and seals it off. Theoretically, it is possible to gain complete control of the passing of time within any given time/space continuum. However, in order to do so, it would be necessary to have full control of an amount of mass greater than that of a black hole. Thus, this theory has yet to be tested. And creation energy generation device. A system that uses an artificially induced small-scale Big Bang to extract energy from the resulting imaginary number space has been researched for a long time. The system would produce even more energy than a quadratic sphere. However, it is extremely difficult to control the strain in the balance of space that results from opening a hole in the imaginary number space. Because the possibility exists that in the worst-case scenario, a collapse of the time/space continuum will be initiated, no one has applied this theory as of yet. Alright, Finally, and then secret information. I'm sorry, but this category is protected. It has been since before I came to work at this library. A password is needed to access it, and no one has succeeded in doing so yet. So guys, with all of that reading out of the way, the operator says, thank you for accessing, I think is what he meant. We're going to go ahead and end this episode here, so when we come back on our next video, we are going to continue the events of the secret information side quest and get as far as we possibly can, since we're not actually quite at the point in the story where we need to be to see it through all the way, but I wanted to go ahead and start it anyway. So thank you so much for watching. I'm your host, Rabbit. This is my Let's Play of Star Ocean: The Second Story, and I'll see you in just a second, everybody.